Here's a question that might make you a little uncomfortable. What if the thing you were taught to do with money, the careful thing, the responsible thing, the safe thing, is actually the reason you're not getting ahead? Because most people grow up hearing the same advice. Save your money, don't take risks, be careful. And look, that advice comes from a good place. It comes from people who care about you. But here's the problem. That advice was built for a different era, and if you follow it today without questioning it, it can quietly keep you broke for decades without you ever realizing why. And the craziest part? You'd feel like you were doing everything right. Let me paint a picture you might recognize. You've got a friend. Let's call him Marcus. Marcus is smart. He works hard, pays his bills on time, never goes into unnecessary debt. Every month, he puts some money aside in his savings account. He sleeps easy knowing his money is sitting there, safe and untouched. And then there's another friend. Let's call her Priya. Priya also works hard, but she does something a little different with her extra money. She invests it, not in some get-rich-quick scheme, just boring, consistent investing. Index funds. Every single month, without fail. 10 years go by. Marcus checks his savings account. The number has gone up. He feels good. He did the right thing. Priya checks her investment account. Her number has gone up too, but dramatically more than Marcus's. And here's the shocking part. Priya didn't work harder than Marcus. She didn't take some wild gamble. She just understood something Marcus didn't. She understood that in the world of money, safe doesn't actually mean safe. Okay, so let's talk about why this happens. And it all starts with something called inflation. Now, inflation sounds like a dry economics term, but just think about it this way. Remember when a decent meal out used to cost what a fancy meal costs today? That's inflation. Prices go up over time, which means the purchasing power of your money, what your cash can actually buy, goes down over time. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine you have a $100 bill and you lock it in a box for 20 years. When you open that box, you still have $100, but because of inflation, those $100 might only buy you what $70 or $60 would buy you today. The money sat still, the world moved forward, and your money got left behind. Now here's where it gets really interesting, and where a lot of people get tripped up. Most savings accounts, the regular kind that millions of people use, pay you interest, but that interest rate is almost always lower than the rate of inflation. So while you feel like you're being responsible, you're actually losing purchasing power every single year, slowly, silently, like a leak in a boat you haven't noticed yet. This is what people mean when they talk about the hidden cost of playing it safe. It's not dramatic. There's no crash or disaster. You just wake up one day and realize your careful savings didn't keep pace with the world around you. So why do so many smart people still do this? Why does Marcus keep choosing the savings account when the evidence is pretty clear that it's not working hard enough for him? This is where psychology gets really interesting. Humans are wired to feel losses more painfully than gains. It's called loss aversion, and it's one of the most well-documented quirks of the human brain. Studies suggest that losing $100 feels roughly twice as bad as gaining $100 feels good. So our brains are always running this background calculation, trying to protect us from the pain of loss, even when avoiding loss is actually making us worse off. Think about it like this. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a field. On one side is a smooth, flat path, completely predictable, no surprises. On the other side is a path with some bumps, some hills, some uncertainty. But it leads somewhere much better. Your brain, if left to its instincts, will almost always pull you toward the smooth path, not because it's better, but because it feels safer. And financial institutions know this about us. They use words like secure and guaranteed and protected because they know those words speak directly to that fearful part of our brain, the part that just wants to avoid pain. But here's the insight that changes everything. There are actually two types of risk in the world of money. There's the risk you can see, the volatility, the market going up and down, the investment that might drop in value next month. That risk feels real and scary and immediate. And then there's the risk you can't see, the slow, invisible erosion of your purchasing power, the compound opportunity cost of money sitting still, the retirement that arrives underfunded because the safe plan didn't account for how the world actually works. The first kind of risk scares us. The second kind of risk barely registers. And that asymmetry, that gap between the risks we fear and the risks that are actually hurting us, is one of the main reasons ordinary people stay ordinary with money. Now, here's where it gets beautiful, because the antidote to that invisible risk isn't recklessness. It's not throwing money at cryptocurrency or betting on random stocks. It's something
something much calmer than that. It's understanding the power of compound growth and giving your money enough time to use it. Compound growth is when your money earns returns, and then those returns earn returns, and then those returns earn returns. It stacks on itself, and over long periods of time, it becomes astonishing. Einstein reportedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, though whether he actually said that is debated. The math behind it certainly earns the title. Here's a simple comparison. If you put $10,000 in a savings account, earning 1% per year, after 30 years, you'd have roughly $13,500. You made $3,500 in 30 years. But if you invested that same $10,000 in a diversified index fund, averaging 7% per year, which is roughly the long-term historical average of broad stock market indices, after 30 years, you'd have around $76,000. Same money, same 30 years, wildly different outcome. The difference isn't luck, it's not insider knowledge, it's just the decision to let your money work instead of just sit. So what do you actually do with this? First, it starts with a mindset shift. Stop thinking of investing as gambling and saving as safety. That framing is backwards. In a world with inflation, keeping your money completely idle is the gamble. You're betting that your purchasing power won't decay, and history says you'll lose that bet. Second, understand that you don't need to be a financial genius to start investing. The strategy that has created more ordinary millionaires than almost anything else is embarrassingly simple. Invest consistently in low-cost, diversified funds over a long period of time. That's it. No stock picking, no timing the market, no special knowledge required. Third, and this is the part most people skip, start before you feel ready, because the most powerful ingredient in compound growth is time, and time is the one thing you cannot buy back. Every year you wait isn't just a year of potential growth lost, it's a year of compounding lost. The growth that would have grown on the growth that would have grown on your original investment. That lost compounding is invisible, so it doesn't hurt in the moment, but it shows up later, and it shows up big. The Marcus in our story isn't a bad person for choosing the savings account. He was following the script he was handed, but the script was written for a world where inflation was low, savings accounts paid real returns, and the stock market felt like something only for the wealthy. That world has changed. The script needs updating. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. Playing it safe with money feels responsible. It feels mature. It feels like you're protecting yourself. And in some ways, having an emergency fund, not taking on reckless debt, yes, being careful absolutely matters. But when it comes to your long-term financial future, the real danger isn't the market going down. The real danger is spending decades standing still while everything around you moves forward. Risk isn't just the thing that can hurt you tomorrow. Risk is also the quiet, invisible force of doing nothing and watching the gap between where you are and where you could be slowly get wider with every passing year. The question isn't whether to take risk with your money. You're always taking risk. The question is, are you taking the right kind? And once you understand that, you stop playing it safe and you start playing it smart.